Live on DAZN Worldwide, April 26th, Eubank Jr. versus Benn. 30 years of rivalry and hatred.
I do hate him.
All comes down to this. The next generation, a new destroyer. For family, history, legacy. Eubank Jr. versus Benn, April 26th. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
Oscar Bevis for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate and available on DAZN. Cheer up, Ben. 24 hours till fight night, mate. 24 hours till the first bell rings of the co-main event. Or chief support.
What time is it?
8 o'clock, bang on the dot.
Co-main event at 8 o'clock. Really? You know more than me. Unbelievable. Unbelievable week, unbelievable build-up, unbelievable night in store. It's gone absolutely out of control. I cannot wait after some of the things. I cannot wait for Chris Eubank Jr. to finish this on Saturday night. I cannot wait, and I think the whole of British boxing cannot wait for that as well.
Can I ask you a question about the weight situation? I'm not going to ask you your response to it because you've given it 100 times. If it isn't in correlation to the amount of money per pound or per point this, why did he not just come in at 161 and not kill himself for 2 hours to still not make the weight?
Well, first of all, you're talking half an ounce. So he wasn't intending on missing the weight. At the end of the day, I'm seeing a scale flicker from 160 to 160 and a half an ounce. Have some common sense. Have some common sense.
And call it 160, you're saying?
10 minutes or anything.
Did he turn up late to the...
Yeah, but Chris Eubank Jr. isn't the best at timekeeping. I'm not making mistakes for him. I'm not making excuses for him, but he's a very, very professional guy. He's never missed weight in his career, and it was almost like they really, really wanted to catch him on half an ounce.
He sat there flicking his...
Yeah, he was flicking
on
his phone. Yeah, he didn't think there was an issue, and then they gave him a
star jumping.
They gave him a. They just. He thought. Listen, he got given a 4-minute warning, and it was what it was. But look, it makes no difference. He, in our eyes, did all the work to make the weight, and the main thing is about his safety. Why are we jumping around celebrating a fighter that's doing everything to make weight and talking about half an ounce? Why is that even a cause for celebration? We should be thinking about, I hope he makes weight safely, not this and that. And listen, they've made a mistake because they fired up Chris Eubank Jr. for tomorrow night.
Should he have posted that video of the sauna sweatsuit?
Look, Chris will do what he wants to do.
What are you expecting him to weigh at the weigh-in tomorrow? Under 170?
Again, my concern is Chris and making sure he makes the weight safely and making sure everything is fine. I'm not bothered about anything else. We've in this sport now too long to be bothered about this and bothered about that. I want him to get in the ring healthy. I want him to put on a performance tomorrow night, and I want him to make British boxing proud because everyone is rooting for him. Everyone wants Chris Eubank Jr. to win tomorrow night.
He had support in it today.
Well, he has support all over the country because he is the ultimate professional. He deserves this moment. He's given us some unbelievable nights, and Saturday night will be his defining moment.
Have you thought about the way you would celebrate if Chris is to do the job? Because
I'm gonna
it has been a pretty volatile build-up, and I know everyone is, I'll say, friends to a degrry, but there's been a big kind of divide in terms of Team Benn, Team Eubank.
It's good versus evil.
Things done.
It's good versus evil.
Have you thought about that celebration?
No, I've not, and I hope I can keep my emotions in check because I look back on my Ben Whittaker 100-metre sprint like Usain Bolt.
That little dance at the end.
And the dance, and I've got a bad hamstring because of it. So I don't want to do that.
What would your hand be doing a dance?
Listen, I've not moved that quick in 10 years. Listen, I just hope that we have a great night tomorrow night and Chris Eubank Jr. does the business, and I can't wait. And what a build-up this has been, in fairness. What a story. What a performance. What a, sort of fairy tale of British boxing 30 years on. It really is special. It feels massive. It feels historic, and to be involved in it is amazing. But I am 100% behind Chris Eubank Jr. For me, he's the reason this event has sold. He's the reason why this is so big. And he's going to show on Saturday night that he's a world-class fighter.
Let's forget about that fight for a second and talk about Frank Smith versus Mazar Majid.
Listen, just handbags, isn't it?
How tense was it earlier in and around that weigh-in?
People were smiling and joking when Chris is making weight. I just didn't like it. Why are you smiling and joking and pointing fingers and making fun of a guy that's clearly in some discomfort to make the weight? Like, who does that? Genuinely. That's what I didn't like. That was what pissing me off. We can all have a laugh and a joke and point and this and that, but I wouldn't do that. I promise you I would never ever be hanging around someone making weight when I can see that it's difficult. You've never been in that position. You've never had to go through that shit, and yet you want to point and you want to laugh and you want to do all that stuff. I don't care how much Chris Eubank Jr. has embarrassed you every press conference, but don't, for me, that's where it just sours the whole thing, because it just sours it.
Final one, if you could say one message to Conor Benn, the second before he ring walks tomorrow night at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in front of 65,000 people to face your man Chris Eubank. If you could say one thing to Conor, what would it be?
Good luck.
Live on DAZN Worldwide, April 26th, Eubank Jr. versus Benn. 30 years of rivalry and hatred.
I do hate him.
All comes down to this. The next generation, a new destroyer. For family, history, legacy. Eubank Jr. versus Benn, April 26th. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.